everybody. Jaron Kleber here with Repair Shop of Tomorrow, and welcome back to the second installment of the Repair Shop of Tomorrow podcast series here for 2024. So, look, we are going to continue on the theme that we started last month, focusing around the NAPA business development groups. So if you missed last month's episode, it was great. We had Roy Foster and Monty Craig on from the Reno Sparks Business Development Group. You can find it here on my channels, on Repair Shop Tomorrow's YouTube channel, on our website. So if you missed that episode, take a look at that. Those two folks have been in a BDG for quite a while, and we talked about their experiences and how they got started, and really how their group has grown and helped them become better NAPA Auto Care Center. So for part two, we wanted to add a little bit of a different twist. We're going to talk about how to really form a BDG, and we've got some guests with us today that are going to help us dive into that topic. So without further ado, let me welcome my lovely looking guest to the program. Thank you guys for being here. We have Nick Hively and Lauren Briggs. Appreciate y'all taking some time out today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us, Jaron.
Yeah. This will be fun. So look, let's get some introductions out of the way to kind of set the table and let everybody know who's who in the room. So like I said, Jaron Kleber with Repair Shop of Tomorrow. And our first guest, Nick Hively, is the president and owner of Automotive Unlimited in Chanhassen, Minnesota. He's also the president of his newly formed NAPA Business Development Group. And so, Nick, why don't you just tell our listeners a little bit about your story and how you came into shop ownership?
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me on, Jaron. I guess I maybe have a little bit of a unique background. I worked for a privately owned group of NAPA stores up here in Minnesota. I think they're up to 18 or 19 stores now. But anyways, I was an outside sales rep. So I had, quite a bit of experience in shops, never running one or anything like that. So I started off life as a technician at a dealership, moved into working at NAPA, had a great career there in sales. And one of my clients was looking to retire, and I was actually in talks with NAPA to buy a NAPA store, but I was not too keen on the idea of working retail weekends. And so when this opportunity came up, I thought, well, maybe I do want to own a repair shop. So purchased a repair shop, and not long after made the best decision I've ever made in business, which was joining Repair Shop of Tomorrow. So with NAPA's help and Repair Shop of Tomorrow's help, we've had quite a bit of success so far. So,
well, Nick, our history goes back prior to you becoming a client with Repair Shop of Tomorrow. I had the pleasure of working for the NAPA distribution center that serviced the NAPA stores that Nick was the sales rep for. And we spent a lot of time working together in shops, trying to figure out ways to help, at the time, his clients be more successful. And so, Nick, it's really cool to see this journey come full circle. And I think you purchased what, in 2016, 17? When did you start purchase your shop?
That's right. October 1st of 2016 is when we closed on it and got rolling.
Yeah, man. Well, look, appreciate you being here. And I know you're going to be able to provide some really good insight for our folks as it relates to BDGs. And so our second guest is Lauren Briggs. Lauren is the director of sales and marketing for NAPA Auto Care. She's really, she plays a crucial role in growing NAPA Auto Care's brand and presence for all of us in the independent aftermarket. So, Lauren, we really appreciate you being here. Tell the audience a little bit about your story and your journey, and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in the industry. Well, I've been around the industry for a long time. I'm very fortunate to have family who grew up in the automotive industry. So I've been around people for about 20 years. However, I've personally been with NAPA for 9 years. This is going to be my 10th year, and I can't believe I've already hit that mark. It's crazy. Started in the supply chain world, so helping to replenish inventory for stores, like where Nick worked, and then moved over to the auto care team. It's been 8 years now that I've been on the auto care team, and touched a little bit of everything from Pro Image co-branding to our social media and Insight Magazine, and now have the pleasure of getting out and getting to go see all of our shop owners and sales team and help grow the auto care program.
Well, look, we're really excited to have you both here, and Lauren plays a tremendous role in the partnership that Repair Shop of Tomorrow and NAPA Auto Care has. We certainly couldn't do what we do every day without their support. And I know Lauren pretty well, and for some of you that may be in the market for a mattress or some furniture, she has some previous experience selling mattresses. And so when we talk about, Nick, charging the right amount of money and the profit and the markup percentages you should make, Lauren came from a different world.
Better than the mattress industry, let me tell you that.
Right. The markup on a mattress is like what, 2,000% or something like that. So shop owners, right? Quit worrying about making 55% gross profit on your parts and 65% profit on your labor when we got our mattress companies out there making those margins. But look, again, the purpose here today is really just to kind of talk about how do we get a BDG started, and really the importance of the NAPA Business Development Group. So, I'll ask you guys both this question to start, and feel free, whoever wants to jump in. But in your guys' opinion, what is the purpose, or what is, the NAPA Business Development Group represent to you?
Well, I'll speak from the corporate level. For us, it's really making sure that our members feel connected to one another. We firmly believe rising tides raise all ships, rising ships raise all tides, however it goes, that phrase. But making sure that we're all working together, we're all in this together. I think if you really look at any city across this country, there's not a single shop that could handle every single customer that's in their city. And so that's where business development groups play a crucial role, is making sure that our brand as independently owned repair facilities who partner with NAPA and the NAPA Auto Care program are the first thing that comes to mind when a customer needs their car repaired, over any of the other banners and national chains that they could go to.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up a great point, Lauren. The statistics here that have been released for, the outlook for 2024 in our industry. There's 293 million vehicles on the road. The average age of that vehicle is now 13 years old. There's plenty of cars out there. And one thing that came from the episode we did last month with Roy and Monty, and it was unprompted by me, right? They started talking about how you got to quit looking at yourselves as competition. You're not competition when you're working in a business development group. The phrase we were looking for, Lauren, is a rising tide raises all boats. Yeah, that's right. It. So let's bring the entire community up so that we're all operating consistently, right, on the same type of level. So Nick, for you, what does it mean, to be in a business development group, and ultimately, why did you go to the lengths that you went to kind of get one started in your area?
Yeah, so you actually stole my thunder there, Jaron. I think for me, a couple of things. First off, I think that business development groups can strengthen our relationship with NAPA. And the other thing is it helps us view all the other shops in the area, get rid of that stigma that's been around for so long that they're our competitors. They're not our competitors. I mean, if you just drive around town and look at the amount of cars that are there, there's no way I could service all those cars. And so when we stop viewing each other as competitors and start viewing each other as colleagues, we all benefit from that. And, I think that BDGs can offer many different things. They can look many different ways. They can operate very differently, but at the end of the day, the two things that they need to do, they need to strengthen our relationship with NAPA, and they need to strengthen our relationship with others. And, just one of the basic things that has really helped us in my shop specifically, we have an email chain going, looking for a tool. Kind of the old rule is, if you borrow a tool, more than once or more than twice, whatever the number is, you buy the tool. Well, if I have a car come in and I need that tool right now, I'm going to go borrow that from another shop, and then I'm going to order one, but it gets me out of that jam. I don't have to put that customer's car on hold. I can get that car done the same day, and I can get more cars moved out, and then I will buy that tool and have it for the next time around. So, as a whole, the BDG program has changed our outlook on each other, and it's strengthened us.
I love to hear that.
Yeah. So this is, I'm going to take a right turn or a left turn, depending on which way my camera is facing here. But Nick, you talk about the tool sharing, and that was another topic that got brought up, last month. The other thing was, using each other as resources, right? Yep. And so not only sharing tools, but just sharing the knowledge and sharing the information. Monty's shop, he comes from a transmission background, right? That's where he cut his teeth, and that's where he got started. And so when he has a transmission, issue, right, a lot of times people will go to Monty and he shares his knowledge. Drivability is kind of Roy's thing, right? Roy Foster's Automotive. And so, you can use those resources in your group to really make everybody in that group better. My right turn here, though, Nick, is something you mentioned an email chain and going back and forth and sharing things. For anybody listening that's a part of a BDG right now, internally, this is something that we've added to our organization that has really helped streamline our communication. But take a look at the program called Slack. I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with that or not, but Slack is a great way to communicate internally inside of your organization. But Nick, I think from a BDG perspective, right, it works like an instant messenger, right? And you can have different channels for training, for tools, for community events. And everybody a part of that BDG has access to that. You can use it on your computer, your tablet. It just might be a way to even streamline some more of those communications. And so it's free to download. I'm not getting any paid endorsements from Slack right now. I promise you that. And if anybody's listening, we did upgrade to the pro account, so you could cut me a deal here. But in all seriousness, I think that's a great communication piece that could be added to your BDG. So Lauren, you talked a little bit about the NAPA piece. What is it that makes NAPA so strongly believe in the BDG from a corporate perspective? Why do you guys believe that this is an initiative that all our auto care centers should participate in?
Well, I think it goes back to what our main goals are with the entire auto care program. So when I come into the office or working from home and working with my team, our goal every single day is to help our members grow their business, either by getting more customers through the bays or by helping you guys sell more needed repairs and services, getting that yes to the estimate. And the beautiful thing about business development groups from everyone I've seen is the resource sharing. So not every shop owner is able to get onto the member site even every week, let alone every day, which is our perfect world. So to be able to have a group of fellow people come in and say, hey, did you guys see this new promotion? Did you guys see this new program? Did you guys see this new marketing opportunity you can give to your customers? It's really a great resource group for everybody to learn about the things that are available to them through the auto care program that's going to help them achieve the goals that we want. And I think every shop owner would like to have more customers come through the bay or get more yeses to the estimate. So that's our biggest reason why we put so much effort behind business development groups is we want to help our members grow.
I love that. And we're really passionate at Repair Shop It Tomorrow about what BDGs can do for our members. We internally, Nick, this, we talk about the community, and, Dave Justice, our president, is always referring to RSOT as community, right? And it's not about the one, it's about the all. That's a Daveism that Nick's probably heard many times since Dave is his coach. But yeah, we believe strongly in that and in that message as well, Lauren. And we're doing, we try to communicate that down to our members. And so, Nick, you're fairly new in your BDG. So talk to us a little bit about like, what was that process like? What did it take to get started from a BDG? And then Lauren, I'll kind of transition to you on just clarifying some of the requirements and things like that. So everybody understands. So Nick, what was that process like when you guys decided, you were going to start a BDG? Talk to us about that a little bit.
Yeah, so to be honest, it was a pretty daunting task, and the way that it transpired was so much simpler than I ever thought it would be, to be honest with you. I put myself in a position here to work on my business, not in my business, whereas a lot of, my colleagues in the industry are working in their business every day. This has been a goal of mine since I bought the shop, was to not be a part of the day-to-day operations. And so, I spoke with our local NAPA store. I enlisted the help of our outside sales rep, who is all of our outside sales rep. We share him, he goes into all of these shops. So essentially what we did is we got them involved, had them contact each shop, say, is this something you're interested in or not? If the answer is yes, I built an email string. I planned a meeting. NAPA really stepped up and, helped us, in terms of the first couple of meetings. Don't want to get NAPA in trouble here, but our local NAPA bought us dinner and, really was a active participant in what we were trying to do. And what I found is, I put a lot of pressure on myself to make sure that I was not wasting any of these shop owners' times or any of their time. Their time is very valuable. The last thing I want to do is, get them outside of their businesses or away from their families in the evening. And what I found is that everybody in the group that participates is extremely grateful for the work that I put into it, which doesn't take that much time, to be honest with you. So it was really rewarding to have the support of the other members, and what we kind of found is there were certain members that really wanted to grow and want to grow with us. And the ones that didn't participate, they're just going to keep doing what they've done. And unfortunately, my theory is they'll get what they've always gotten. And so, we've been able to kind of elevate our businesses, help each other out. But, going back to the original question, it's really not too challenging. We got NAPA involved. We set the meeting and I invited everybody, and we just started, winging it from there.
Did you, Nick, at that first initial meeting or second meeting, did you kind of outline responsibilities for members, assuming you're kind of the leader, president of the group? Did people volunteer like, hey, I'll take this part on, or I'll take the training coordinator on? Or did you feel like you kind of had to force people into kind of some of those leadership roles inside the group?
So we're still fairly new. So we haven't really, defined those roles yet. We're still kind of in the process of, what is this group going to be? I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. We jumped right into the bread and butter of what we wanted to do. We got people in there that we wanted to meet with. And so we really got the ball rolling on, the important pieces. Our next meeting actually is scheduled to, kind of choose those roles and get it a little bit more defined. But, right off the bat, I did not want to waste anybody's time. I didn't want them to feel like this was going to be, just another meeting that they go to. We got people involved right away. We had the NAPA brake rep happen to be in the area. We got them down there. They did a great presentation, short, sweet, to the point, shared knowledge that, the shops really benefited from and really saw a lot of value with. And so we are kind of on that point now where we're going to do that. I think once people see, kind of, if I can describe to them, how easy the process is, I don't think it will be a problem, because it's not really too time consuming. It's just a matter of setting aside a little bit of time to do it.
So, one of the challenges that we see, and I'm sure Lauren can echo this as well, as she travels across the country, and my previous years with NAPA, 13 years with NAPA, I was involved in a lot of these business development group meetings and things like that. A lot of these groups get started, or even some of the existing groups that have been involved for a while, they get started and they don't really have a plan, or they don't really have a purpose. And then that's where I think we hit that stumbling block a little bit, right? Like, because there is no design plan, or there is no set agenda. And I think it's really important, right? Yeah, Nick, you made a comment. I can't remember when it was. We were in a meeting somewhere, and you made a comment about, outside salespeople coming into your shop from other areas, and or from other businesses and things like that. And you're always willing to engage with them as long as they bring you value, right? As long as there's some sort of value that they bring to you, you're willing to have a conversation with them. And I think that's the same thing with the BDG, right? There has to be value. And if there is no value, then all of a sudden the group starts to diminish, or it really maybe doesn't even take off. It never really gets started, right? As far as kind of setting up your group, you don't have to tell us specifics, but are you guys contributing funds for dues on a monthly basis so that you have dollars in place to bring in training and to do those types of things for your group?
Yeah, so that's an area that we've spent a lot of time talking about and not followed through with. I think, the concern that I have, which is what I've voiced, and I believe we're all on the same page, we will start collecting here shortly, is that in order to generate any type of a balance, we need to start collecting now. And the interesting part for us, and again, I don't want to speak for NAPA, I don't want to get them in trouble over here, but our local store is going to be a participating member. So as an example, if we're putting in $100 a month, or $20 a month, whatever that dollar amount is, NAPA's considered a member, and they will also match that. They will be a contributing member, which I find, that means that they're putting their money where their mouth is. They are truly partnering with us. This isn't, just a group for them, to talk tough and, try to get more business of. They want to be actively involved. They want to be a true partner. And that's what we want, as an example, we're running this free brakes promotion, and, I've got support from my NAPA store, and the reason I did it, or the reason that they support me, is because I send them a spreadsheet with what the dollars look like. So, they are so all in with us. When I sent the owner a text of the NAPA store, I said, "Can I count on you?" And, the answer was absolutely. So the conversation didn't even need to take place. We had their support already. And so it's a great way, it's a great thing to have that relationship.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear that. Sorry, Sharon. I just want
No, go
to,
ahead.
I
Yeah,
want to really
absolutely.
hone in on that really fast, because I feel like there may be some people who end up listening to this who think, well, my NAPA store would never. And what I want to do is I want to challenge you the same way Nick did, is ask, because we're looking to be at all of our stores are looking to be a partner to a business development group. And we have multiple stores who are willing to pitch in and, pay membership dues, just like Nick's store is doing. So I challenge anyone who's considering a business development group who thinks, well, my store would never, to just ask and see, because I bet you would be surprised at the answer you're going to get.
Yeah, and all I was gonna say on that, Lauren, too, was with my experience in being around NAPA and business development groups, and even now with Repair Shop Tomorrow, participating in meetings. I participated one last week in Sacramento, California, for a group that was getting ready to get started. NAPA's there to support it, right? I think the majority of experiences that I've seen, Nick, are what you talked about, right? Their members, they put in dues as well. Look, ultimately, it's your guys' group as shop owners, okay? But Lauren, talk to me a little bit about, like, what do you think NAPA's level of involvement should be, or from what's kind of the message that you give out to store owners and outside salespeople as it relates to their involvement?
Yeah. So I always say that the NAPA store should be very much involved with their business development groups. What you really need is a NAPA person, someone from the DC or the store, like your OSS, Nick, and an auto care center owner who are fully bought into the idea. And so Nick's that guy for his business development group, and then he's got a great OSS who services all of the shop owners who are in this group. and they're fully bought in together. And NAPA should be helping to plan the meeting, to help get the dinner, at the very least, get it ordered. Ideally paying for it, but at the very least, getting it ordered and taking that burden off of you guys as the shop owners, and let you guys focus on what the meeting content should be. And then we actually have several business development groups who have one meeting a quarter or one meeting a month, depending on how often they meet, where there's no NAPA represent. NAPA will help organize it, get the room ordered, get the food ordered, but they don't attend the meeting, so that you guys can talk about whatever you need to talk about, where you may not feel 100% comfortable with NAPA or anybody else being in the room. So, it's definitely that partnership of help organize the meeting, but let the shop owners who are in the business every day talk about the content.
And I think that's a great point, Lauren. We can be involved in groups, right? NAPA can be involved, your local NAPA store, OSS, right? You have that relationship. It's okay, Nick, to tell, your store owner, and I of course I know him too. I won't call him out here by name, but it's okay. It's okay to call him and say, hey, look, we need you to sit this. We need you to sit this one out, right? This is what the focus of this meeting is. And we just need you to sit on the sidelines for that meeting. Okay. And that's fine, right? We're all in agreement with that because we have this partnership. And Nick, going back to the support that you get, I just want to let everybody know that's listening or watching that Nick has that support because it's a true two-way street, right? With his NAPA store and his store owner. It's a two-way street. That relationship works both ways, right? So Nick's not constantly there beating up his store and outside salespeople and demanding, do this, or else, right? There's a lot of give and take in that relationship, right? And I think that's really important. And when you're putting together BDGs, I think that conversation needs to be had. So Lauren, if somebody's listening to this and they're like, hey, look, we want to start a BDG, what are some of just the requirements to start a NAPA BDG group?
Well, it's really simple. You just need 2 auto care centers. So if you and a fellow auto care center go to lunch on a regular basis and talk business and exchange ideas, you're basically doing a business development group just off the record. So it's having 2 shop owners minimum and letting your NAPA rep, whoever it is, know that you're interested in having this group so that we can get you officially registered. And then that way too, we know that you guys are meeting, you guys are wanting to grow your businesses together, and we can help with organizing meetings and actually growing it past 2.
Very cool. Very cool. And it's still a requirement for the NAPA Gold program, right? Yeah. To participate in a business development group.
That's correct. Yep. And that's something that was decided on by our advisory council. It wasn't the people at headquarters who are not in the shop every single day, who we're not in your business every day. We don't know everything that you guys go through. We have a good idea because we have great relationships with our members, but our advisory council of shop owners is actually who set all of the criteria for gold certified. And business development group was actually one that they were probably the most passionate about because they all recognize what a business development group can do for a member.
Yeah, like I said, the BDGs I think are a critical part of the overall success of the auto care program and its individual members, right? And so last month we talked a little bit about the program that we put together in conjunction with Lauren and her team, specifically for training business development groups. And so I'm just going to briefly kind of reiterate what we have put together with the auto care team. So for anybody that's listening, watching this, and is looking for maybe some more content or some more training for their meetings, you understand, or you now learn that there's an option with Repair Shop of Tomorrow. So based off the feedback we got, and we've kind of talked a little bit about this, right? Some of these groups, they've been together for a while and, they've lost their ways and maybe they just don't have a set purpose agenda. And Lauren mentioned it, sometimes the meetings are once a month, a couple times a year, once a quarter, but consistently we saw in working with NAPA, the groups meet around every other month or 6 times a year. So what we did at Repair Shop Tomorrow is we created an online learning management system that was specifically built for you and your NAPA BDG. So there are 6 online training modules, which are repair order workflow, digital vehicle inspection, advisor huddle, driving profitability, marketing, and our business flow chart. And I'm not going to go into each individual module. If you're interested, you can visit our website, repairshoptomorrow.com, or you can get a hold of me at my information here. I'll leave up on the screen. But the purpose of this is to give you content for your meeting. So if we're meeting 6 times a year, we want you to come into your meetings and we want you to go through these training modules together, going back to building that sense of community. There's no better way to connect with one another and to help grow your business than peer-to-peer learning, right? You guys understand, you have the same challenges, you have the same struggles, right? So the way that we suggest this gets laid out is you go into the meetings, you watch the modules. Repair order workflow is the first one we suggest you use. Here's kind of a layout of what we think how you should kind of go through this path. There are between 20 to 30 minutes a piece. Nick, I think repair order workflow is the longest one. Just happens to be the first one. But you review these modules at your meetings, then you go back to your shops and you implement what you learned, right? Maybe you've been a shop owner for a long time and maybe you're really successful. Well, repair order workflow talks about the 10 steps in the process to ultimately maximize your shop's efficiency. Are you doing all 10 of those things? Can you go back to your shop and can you pick up on 1 or 2 little nuggets of information that will ultimately help your business? Then when we come back for the next meeting, we talk together as a group, what worked, what didn't work, and then we go through the next module, right? So we repeat that process until all 6 of those modules are done. The subscription is a 12-month subscription, right? So Nick, if you start in February 2024, it goes all the way until February 2025. The other piece that we've added this year is we're also hosting quarterly Zoom meetings for the groups that participate in our program. And those quarterly Zoom meetings can be on whatever topic the business development group wants to talk about. So maybe it's about managing, how to manage people. Maybe it's about looking at different technician pay plans. Maybe it's diving a little bit more into the labor side of the business, right? Which we're very passionate about because it's our most important side of our business. And so those Zoom meetings can be held, Nick, outside of your regular scheduled BDG meetings. We can do them, at 2:00 on a Thursday, and whoever makes it. We record those meetings and then we distribute that out to the group. So we feel like this is a really great program to provide the shop owners with more training content to ultimately work together and help them grow their business. Now, a lot of shops are taking advantage of the auto tech training program on the technical side. And so we wanted to deliver training on the management side. And Nick, I know your group's new, but we were fortunate enough to get this implemented with your group. I know you've only had a few meetings, but what have you guys seen as a group? Have you went through any of the modules together? And if you have, what have you guys seen from a benefit standpoint utilizing the RSOT BDG program?
Well, I think it does 2 things. One is it reinforces that we are doing a lot of things right. I think as shop owners, we can tend to second guess ourselves on whether we're doing the right thing or not. And so when we see, hey, I do that, I've heard, shop owners say, hey, we do that already, we already doing that. But then there comes a point in time where you see the notepad out and the pen right, they're scribbling notes left and right going, we haven't done that. And that's a great idea. And so, then discussion starts about how, shop A does it versus shop B and, some of the hurdles that you've run into. And so, you learn that you're not the only one that's gone through that stuff. And it's, it's really uplifting to know that you're not alone and you have, shops down the street running into the exact same thing that you're running into. And so, I would say that's a big benefit, but, just the content is top notch. It walks you through, what we believe. I say we, because I'm a member of Repair Shop Tomorrow and I will continue to be as long as I'm, a shop owner, that they work. It just works, don't reinvent the wheel. It just works. And so, it's been very positive. I think just taking the initiative to do it. The plan for the next meeting is for us to watch the next module before we get there. So then we'll just have the discussion once we're there, kind of a deal. So
yeah. So you bring up a good point, right? Those modules, you and your teams have access to those 24/7, 365 for the 12 months that you have access to the program, right? So again, you can provide that training to your team throughout the month, throughout the week, whatever that looks like. And then you can also participate as a group. And so, Lauren, I'm going to put you on the spot just a little bit. So, from a NAPA Auto Care standpoint, what is the value that you all see for BDGs utilizing Repair Shop Tomorrow's program inside their groups?
Well, yeah. So, I mean, obviously, the business training is a huge aspect. I think everything that you guys touch on in those modules are the things that kind of what Nick said of it's stuff that it might seem like common sense, but a lot of times it's the little things that basic blocking and tackling is a Jasonism. Basic blocking and tackling that you forget about on a day-to-day basis. And it's just a good reminder to start implementing, re-implement those pieces back into your business. And I think what's really important is that you see like the driving profitability. And I can see some shop owners saying like, oh, well, I don't want the guy down the road knowing my numbers. Well, you don't really go into numbers in that way. So I want to make sure that everyone knows and feels comfortable that this is not everybody sharing their secret sauce that makes their business unique. It's things that any shop owner, I think, would be more than willing to speak about with another shop owner. So just making sure that everyone feels comfortable with that.
Yeah, and great point, because I said this last at this last BDG meeting I was in person at. There's some things that we talk about in these modules and how we put them together at Repair Shop Tomorrow. Right? It may seem like, well, I don't want to, take participation in this because I don't want to join coaching or whatever the case may be. Right. But you nailed it. I mean, in these modules, we're giving you things that you can take back to your business and you can do on your own. Right. We didn't develop any super trade secrets right now. The last module, as Nick knows, the integration of the business flow chart, that is proprietary information to Repair Shop of Tomorrow. And so when we go through that, we are explaining, how that process looks, right? And that's really all about just measuring and you're managing your business on the data that's available to you. But at the end of the day, it's not a 12-month program full of sales pitches telling you to come join our program. You're going to be able to take away information from every module and go back and implement it in your business to be more successful. And I will give Lauren some more kudos because she has went through all the modules. So we gave her a super secret login, Nick, and she went into the program because she wanted to understand, hey, look, if we're going to support this, we want to make sure the content's good so that we can go out and confidently support this program and tell our members that this is a good decision for them to make for their groups. So with that, look, we're coming up on our time here. I like to try to keep these between 30 and 40 minutes. Anything else that you guys want to add? Any closing thoughts, Nick, Lauren, before we shut it down for this afternoon?
I'll let Nick go first. I went first on all of them.
All right, that sounds great. I actually have to, I think that business flowchart is so underrated. The power of that particular piece of information. I've been discussing numbers with my coach, and I'm concerned. Do I hire another technician? Where am I at with this? He tends to lead me back and ask me the same question. What's the data say? Well, when you look at the data, it's black and white. It says I'm either tech heavy or I need to hire another technician, or, we're short on the front end. We're not getting the job done on the front end. And so the power of that particular piece of information is I can't even put a value on it, because it takes the thought out of it, or the emotion out of it, and it's basically a roadmap that says, look, here's the problem that we're running into. Where's where's the bottleneck? Well, it's right here. It's black and white. It tells us that. So the value on that particular piece, I can't put enough into. The other thing I would like to say is, starting a business development group is very daunting. And so when I got a hold of our folks at NAPA, they were extremely helpful. They got me information from other groups, just to kind of get the ball rolling. So, if anybody out there is even thinking about it, do not hesitate to get a hold of your local people. You'd be shocked at how helpful they're willing to be, regardless of what the past history is, regardless of bury any challenges you've ever had. At the end of the day, the NAPA store wants to grow. The repair shops want to grow. Forget about what's happened in the past. Enlist each other's help. Grow together, and rise that tide, as Lauren said.
Yeah, I would just follow it up with exactly that. Don't be afraid to ask for help. If you've got any interest in getting a business development group started, reach out to your local NAPA rep. Reach out to fellow shop owners who are in the auto care program who may also be interested, and maybe have a meeting together. Go have a lunch with another shop owner and just see if it's something that you guys are aligned on, that your goals are aligned on. Because remember, there's training, there's marketing, there's community involvement, there's a ton of different routes you can go. So make sure that you guys are on the same page, and then get your NAPA store involved. And if they are not or if they're not responsive to you, you guys all have access to the headquarters team's contact information on the AutoCare member site. It's down at the bottom of the page under support. It's the NAPA resource guide. Feel free to reach out to me, call, text, email, and I will make sure that we get some NAPA representation to help y'all.
Well, look, I appreciate you guys both being on here. Nick, as a shop owner and a newly formed BDG president, group leader, the information that you shared was extremely valuable. And Lauren, as the face and the brand of NAPA Auto Care, and you being out on the street and working with your members and doing what you do every day, you providing that insight from that tower view at NAPA headquarters was really important too. And I appreciate both of you being here. If anybody's interested in learning anything more about this program, specifically BDGs, like Lauren said, use that member.napaautocare.com website. It's an incredible resource. It's got all your program information in there. Repair Shop Tomorrow, of course, is listed in there. I know Nick would welcome phone calls from anybody that's listening that is interested in getting some more detailed information about their group. And of course, I would love to have any conversation about BDG, about Repair Shop Tomorrow. Let's see if I can do this right. My information's there. I have the world's longest email address. I apologize. I joke all the time with our team. I'm like, did we really think we were going to hire another Jaron? Like you had to use my last name too. Like we couldn't have just had Jaron at repairshoptomorrow.com. But anyway, Jaron_Kleber, repairshoptomorrow.com. That's my cell phone, 618-334-8489. You can call me or text me any time of the day. I probably will answer, as Lauren and Nick know. So
Never stop.
Look, this was fun, guys. I really appreciate you being here. And for everybody tuning in, thank you. NAPA, thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your support, Nick. Thank you as well for being a client of Repair Shop Tomorrow. And this was fun. I appreciate you guys, and hope you all have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.